Now, some of you are probably looking at me and saying, what is this about? Isn't that different? Thank you. Somebody said, love it. That's good. Please tell my wife that. She's not as sure as others. Let me tell you something. People are asking, so I want to get this just real clear. Why am I doing this? Well, folks, under the Biden economy, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to moonlight as a department store Santa in December, and I got to get a good early start. That's why. So, got to take a second job. A lot of Americans are going to have to if the taxes keep going up, inflation keeps eating out everything we do. So there you go. That's why. I hope it's a full explanation that you like. Hey, for reasons that make no sense, Democrats are dead set against requiring a person to have a photo ID in order to vote. The idea of an ID is simple enough. You should vote, but your vote should be protected by making sure that you are the person doing the voting. Because if someone else votes your ballot, they're actually stealing it from you. Now, I'm fairly well known, and most places I go, I'm recognized and called by my name even before I sign in at the front desk. This happens at the airport, at a doctor's or dentist's office, and at a bank when I wish to withdraw funds. Even so, without a photo ID, I couldn't see a doctor, fly on a plane, or pay for groceries with a check. I couldn't take out a loan, check into a hotel or rent a car, or pick up baseball tickets at the will call window. In most cities, I couldn't even enter a large office building. So why the heartburn about having a photo ID to vote? Now, the argument is that it's racist to require the ID for voting. That's not just laughable. That is insulting to people of color to assume that they are somehow less capable than white people to function in our current world. That's crazy. Folks, black or brown people are as smart as I am, maybe smarter. And I know that they too go to doctors and hospitals, hotels, office buildings, and fly on planes. To suggest that obtaining or using a photo ID is just too complicated for a black or brown person, that's outrageous. It's denigrating. Do Democrats really think so little of minorities? You know, it's not racist to ask all people, whatever color they are, to have a photo ID when they vote. But it is 100% racist to insinuate that a minority person is too dumb or lacks the basic life skills to obtain or use a photo ID. Vice President Kamala Harris insulted people in rural America this week when she said that a photo ID would be too much to ask of people in rural parts of the country. Because if we had to make a photocopy, or as she said, if we had to Xerox our ID or go to Kinko's, we wouldn't have the ability to do that. I kind of think maybe she ought to visit rural America a little more. She might be surprised to find out that we've got electricity, running water, paved roads, cable TV, indoor plumbing, and yes, even got connections to the interweb. We got it all. And you know what? We even wear shoes and store-bought breeches. Why, heck, a bunch of us have even been to an airport and flown on them big jet planes. And we've even got toilet paper. And if we run out, we can always go to the New York Times, since the Sears catalog no longer gets printed. I'll bet she doesn't even know that we quit using horse-drawn carriages years ago, and folks down here drive big old fancy cars like the folks in California. Now, I admit, we ain't all as fancy as the folks in California where she comes from. We still sometimes use plastic straws. We eat real ribeye steaks instead of tofu. And we believe that church is more essential than a casino or a topless bar. We really do. And if the vice president wants to come down for a visit, we can show her that All our folk, no matter what color, know how to use and get a photo ID. And we also know how to get and use a cast iron skillet. And this really might mess her up. We know how to get and use a rifle, a shotgun, or a pistol. Yeah. Now, I want to be clear for all the crazies out there. Most of us would never think of using those things on people unless they are dumb enough to try to invade our homes or threaten our families. And then it's not us that will need the photo ID. It's the dumb son of a gun who tried to break into our houses, because he's going to need a photo ID so the authorities can notify the next of kin. That's the truth. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, then subscribe, and hit the notification bell below. Now, if you didn't like it, you ought to find a Ben Shapiro video to detox you with more facts.